Lights, camera, button.
Button.
I think you caught all of that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ramblemancy.
Oh goodness. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last live stream on our channel of the year. Our last live stream of the year.
Yeah. We've got. There's one more after this, but it's not live. It's pre-recorded.
Exactly.
It will be live. The Twitch channel will be live, but
what is happening on the stream will not be live.
There we go. That one.
Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome. First of all, secondly, we've got some announcements, but a lot less than we normally do because there's nothing happening for like a month.
Thank God.
I'll just get into that real quick. So it's very simple. This Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we will be airing our holiday one-shot, The Gift of Goblins, which you can see the promo for right here on the screen. It's there right now. So yeah, it's an incredible cast. I am so excited for y'all to see this. We recorded it last night, and oh boy, you're not ready. You're not ready. So yeah, that will be happening Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific time right here on this channel. A few of us will be in chat probably, hanging out with y'all, watching everyone be goblins. It's great. It's gonna be incredible. Second,
the entire campaign had the little John Blum chaos and mode energy to it, like the entire game.
Secondly, and much more pressingly, you currently have less than 5 hours to order our special Thunder and Blood merch. We have these still available, but only for another 5 hours, at which point it will disappear forever. So you have 5 hours. That is 5 hours. 5 more hours to get Thunder and Blood merch.
300 minutes.
Before it's gone 5 ever. Wow, that's a reference that is so beyond. I don't even know.
Great stream
Okay,
tonight.
that's fine. We're back. I love stream decks because then I can do that bullshit. Anyway,
my favorite bullshit on Rachel's streams too is when I do something to haze her and she just makes an angry face at me and I can tell that she's gone to the BRB screen.
Anyway, so yeah, you have a little under 5 hours to get your Thunder and Blood hoodies and or t-shirts. Get them while they're hot. That fell apart real quick. You get what I'm saying. Get them while they're gettable. That's a thing that everybody says.
Yep.
That's, I think, is that everything?
Fresh off the press.
Oh, no. Well, obviously, reminders about break. So, as I said, this will be our last live stream of the year. But we will be back Wednesday, January 19th with Infinite Horizon. We'll be right back, right here on this very channel, with our favorite spacefaring sci-fi supers, etc., etc.
Oh man, we have to go back to saying the soup, don't we?
The soup of adjectives, yeah.
Yeah, the adjective soup for Infinite Horizon.
Yeah, so we will be back on Wednesday, January 19th with that. And of course, Into Deep will be returning as well the following week, January 25th. That is Tuesday, January 25th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. So, yeah, that's all I've got. And in the meantime, we're going to sleep like literally every single minute of every day between now and then. That's what's going to happen. Every single minute. All of them.
Yep.
All of the
all
minutes.
the seconds in the minutes.
Every
Yeah, we at Rule of Lore are a lot like the North American grizzly bear, where we just hibernate for a while. We just sleep. We go I don't know where this is going. I think I sort of said everything I was going to say, but then kept talking.
I actually have a giant meal prep too. Like it's just like every kind of meat food imaginable, and I'm going to just stuff my face with like a week's worth of food, and then just go into like a little sleep time,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
such as a bear would do before hibernation. I think.
Precisely. Um, that's everything. I think that's all the stuff that I got for that. So, in the spirit of the holidays and the holiday cheer, I will not be throwing John under the bus today.
Oh, refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
This is new.
I feel like John doesn't believe me and is still fully expecting me to throw him under the bus. But
I am a little like I am just a tiny bit concerned.
And that is how, everyone, you shake things up, because now the joke is still on John, because now John is very anxious that I'm going to throw him under the bus.
I have monetized.
And he will wait and wait, always wondering if that bus is coming.
Oh my god.
And you just won't know.
Do it.
It really does sound like I'm winding up for a bit, but I really, truly am not going to throw John under the bus. It really does sound like I'm winding up for a bit. And that is on purpose. Because you see, part of keeping the anticipation...
Would you throw a man under the bus that has a tiny bunny on his shoulder?
Close. I think we all know that I would absolutely do that. The thing about this is that this is the closest that I am ever going to get to a real life supervillain monologue. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Anyway, no,
Lucas
truly,
and I just having a cat staring contest here. Like...
Freeman's just over there in the background.
It's that GIF. It's that GIF.
Oh, it actually captures my ring light twice, which is really...
It's trippy.
Bizarre. I genuinely can tell from like the tone of your voice, John, that you're still expecting this to be a bit. I swear to God, it's not a bit.
Can we make this go for an hour and a half? That would be really impressive.
The bit? Can we make the bit go the whole show? Can we make the bit go the whole... Am I stalling? No, I'm not.
Us? Make the bit go the whole show? You can hear John still frantically running around inside his own skull looking for a question to ask to start the show, just in case.
I was can you yeah.
Oh no.
No, I actually legitimately did have a thought, and it disappeared. Hence why I was definitely not stalling, in the hopes that it would come back to me. Yeah, I don't have anything actually. I did, and it'll come back to me at the most inconvenient time. But how's everybody doing?
I was just gonna ask the same thing. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, honestly, like, how are you doing, chat? Too, you're in on this quest. It's not just the people on the show here. How are you doing, chat? What are you up to on this fine?
It's almost like we
evening.
didn't have a plan for this evening, and we decided to kind of phone in the last stream of the year. Almost.
F is for phone in.
Yeah, F is for fuck. We don't know what we're doing. Yeah, no.
Anyway, no. Most of the brain cells in my head right now are occupied by The Witcher, which I have been watching all day for the parts of today that I have been conscious.
That is also what I did. I watched all of it. I won't say anything about it. I'll say this.
Experience. I so far have, I think, liked season 2. I felt like season 2, maybe because there wasn't like the same kind of like timeline fuckery that we had to do to get all of the proper setup in season one.
Yeah, the whole thing was like it stayed more like. Were there flashbacks? I genuinely don't remember.
There were a couple flashbacks.
Are there flashbacks? Okay, but otherwise,
but you knew
like
there were flashbacks.
yeah,
when
yeah,
they were
yeah, yeah.
happening, so.
It does. It has the patented sound where it like transitions to the flashback. You know.
Yeah, you guys. I feel that way too. I feel like season one was good. Season two blew season one out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it so far.
Yeah.
And those are my Witcher thoughts. I know Freeman hasn't seen it, and it came out literally today.
Also,
so, spoiler
this is
ban,
not
but...
really a spoiler, but I just want to say that like it is wild how fucking different Freya Allen looks in season 2 with eyebrows. Like she looks like a totally different person.
Wait, Freya Allen plays
Ciri.
Oh.
Like for a while, I honestly thought they recast Ciri, but they didn't. They just darkened her eyebrows. She looks like a completely different person. It's wild. Anyway, I saw some questions. Geek Out says favorite seasonal treat. I do love some gingerbread, to be honest with you. Like but I also like it's not technically a seasonal treat, I don't think, like not traditionally, but I feel like I get banana bread a lot. Like people give me banana bread a lot during the holidays, and I'm okay with that. I'm like very okay with that particular thing. That's what I got.
Pumpkin bread, always very good. There's lots of that basically from Thanksgiving onwards in my family. So like there's pumpkin bread all the time. I love that. My favorite holiday specific treats, I think, have got to be like these little like peanut butter sugar cookies that I now make with different tree nut butters, but like so like almond butter, cashew butter, sugar cookies that you then push like a little piece of like chocolate into the center of.
I'm changing my answer. Shortbread is the best thing ever. Don't fucking at me.
Oh yeah, no, shortbread's.
Shortbread is the superior holiday treat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fight me because I don't care enough to debate you.
Debate me. Don't do that.
But,
yeah. Yeah, I think those little peanut butter cookies are probably my favorite thing. Although I did while we were filming last night for The Gift of Goblins, I walked downstairs on break, and my roommate and his girlfriend were making those little like pretzel things where you put a bunch of like spread a bunch of pretzels out on a cookie sheet and then put a Hershey's Kiss on top of them and then melt it and push a little like M&M into it, like those little things.
Mm-hmm.
Let them cool, and you've got like a little weird salty chocolatey bite. They were in the middle of making those, and so I was just like, I don't know, like an emperor lounging on a couch being fed grapes. They just kind of like poked them at me until I came back upstairs.
Yeah. I appreciate all of the shortbread love in the chat. All of you are correct and incredibly attractive. Amethyst, I feel like you're making a joke that is going entirely over my head, which is not hard to do because I'm not that tall. But like, never debate you, but I may delure you. Okay, I don't get it. I feel like there's a joke I'm missing.
Sounds familiar, but
ooh, nice Geek Outs. Yeah. Ooh. I don't remember the last time I had any. It was a long time ago. I think I was still a small child. Nope. I'm still not getting it. I'm sorry. I have no brain cells left.
Dr. Bait, Lure, D-Bait, D-Lure. All right. I've arrived.
Nope. Oh, I get it. Nope, I got there. It's a fishing joke. I understand. Okay.
Yep. We got there.
Got it. I'm there. I made it.
We are.
Lure, I got you.
We are all of us.
Hello. I have arrived
tonight.
at the joke.
I haven't gone fishing for a while.
Yeah.
I think for me it's very like pumpkin or squash related. I think.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, one of the things that I haven't had in such a long time was this one year when I was like, I I think it was in middle school. My dad made these like pumpkin fritters that were basically just pumpkin pancakes, and they were incredible.
Oh, that
So
sounds good.
good, so good. And now I really want one. Well, um, let's see.
Ooh.
I know around
Little
this time
Stammer
of
said,
year. Oh, sorry. What?
I was gonna say, Little Drummer says, I'm making triple chocolate mint cookies, molasses cookies, and peanut butter cookies. Molasses cookies are so good.
Peanut butter kiss
Oh,
cookies are delicious.
Hmm.
I do like those. I'm not. I used to tell people that I'm not really a fan of cookies, and that is technically true. But there are like some cookies that I will make exceptions for, like peanut butter cookies, snickerdoodle, gingerbread are like my. And then of course, like if you're gonna go with a classic chocolate chip, then my answer is no. But I will go for like a white chocolate macadamia nut. So that's my favorite. Um, let's see. I was gonna say that like around this time of year in college, one of my favorite things was that in sort of they offer in the coffee shop on campus, they'd start offering like the seasonal drink of like the white peppermint mocha.
Ooh, those were so good.
I love
Oh,
those.
those were so
They were my
good.
favorite. And there was one person, I think it was my sophomore year. There's one oh no, sophomore junior year, who she wasn't a student, but she worked at the coffee shop on campus, and it got to the point where she made them incredibly well. She was so good at making them, and every time she was there, I would order one, and it got to the point where she would see me coming, and she'd be like, "White peppermint mocha." I was like, "God!" I didn't even have to order; she just knew.
It's the best kind of, that's kind of the like the best kind of like barista relationship, and then like
Hmm.
the usual.
She legit did not even know my name for a really long time. So,
You were just white peppermint mocha.
yep. Mhm. 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 Ooh, okay. Rick Bud described an empanada as too salty, and that broke my brain because I've only known them as pastries with fruit. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, no, that's fair. Geek outs. I also know empanada the same way that Rick knows them, but in my experience, if you're making them yourself, you could decide how salty they are. Like you get to decide
Hmm.
how. But yeah, like the ones that like I know are like they're like almost like a pie crust sort of exterior, right? Like just and then inside they like it's like a nice like buttery sort of like pie crust sort of exterior, and then the inside is like a ground beef like meat, potatoes, peas, carrots, like that kind of stuff. Um, and of course, given Puerto Rican seasoning and popped in the oven, delicious or fried actually, either one,
ooh,
either one. They're delicious either way.
Good stuff.
Like
Good
I
stuff.
genuinely did not know that like growing up that's what an empanada was to me. I genuinely did not know that they were sweet until like I heard it. I had the opposite thing happen that happened to you geek outs where like somebody was talking about them and like in the context of like desserts, and I was like, "Excuse me?" Like don't get me wrong, as somebody who loves savory stuff and prefers savory snacks over sweet snacks, um, I'm down. But like they were talking about it as if it was a sweet thing, and that just sort of broke my brain.
Yeah, see, like that's how I was introduced to empanadas as well, is because like I had them exclusively as a savory like food, and so then
Yep.
anytime I hear of them as a
Mm-hmm.
anytime I hear of them as like a sweet thing, I'm like, oh right, you can
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that. As it turns out, like um there's a lot of people that have discovered that if you take stuff and put it inside bread and then you bake or fry it, it's very good.
Correct. Um. Oh my gosh. Amethyst was asking about favorite holiday films. I actually watched one recently that I liked a lot. Like holiday films aren't really my thing. Like I don't mind the holidays, but holiday films haven't really been my thing. That's more like my mom's area of expertise. It's more her thing. But for me, I saw one. It's funny that you say that, Geek Outs, because this is actually that very thing is actually a joke in the movie that I'm about to mention about like or like not a joke but like a recurring bit throughout the whole thing. Um, it's on Netflix. It's called Love Hard with Nina Dobrev and Jimmy O Yang. and it's
Hmm.
actually I like that movie a lot. I was surprised because it's not really my favorite genre of movie, the Christmas rom-com, but I did
Hmm.
like it. So
Yeah, I did actually watch a Christmas rom-com this week that I
hmm
enjoyed very much. And I talked about this on my stream on Thursday, but it was The Night with a K Before Christmas. It's a 2019 Vanessa Hudgens
because of
like
course it
starring
is.
yeah, starring Vanessa Hudgens Christmas movie. Like it's your classic Christmas rom-com, except the person who is like being removed from their element is instead a knight from the 1300s who meets a witch in the woods, and the witch is just kind of like, you know what, you're hot and you deserve true love. I'm going to shoot you forward to the year 2019, and you're going to meet this really sick like not sick like as in ill, but like this really cool like gal who like does all this kind of cool charity work and just like had a bad breakup with her shitty like unfaithful ex-boyfriend. I'm going to do this out of because I think you're both neat. And she just throws him forward into the year 2019, and then he starts living it out. And it's fun because, like, I'm just going off about The Night Before Christmas
hmm
now.
I actually have an answer to Anne's question, and without question, it is the Muppets and John Denver Christmas album.
It's good.
hmm Favorite Christmas album.
Anyway, to finish my tirade about The Night Before Christmas, I like it because it doesn't make the fact that he is in the wrong time period the whole like plot of the movie. It's just kind of an occasionally reoccurring bit, and then he learns something new, and then we go back to it's like, and then we go back to just like doing cute Christmas rom com shit, and I kind of love that.
Yeah. Listen, we did George of the Jungle. We don't need to rehash it every like a couple years with like the like the romantic thing out of place, like out of time, hero out of
Exactly.
time kind of thing. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do it every time.
And like, he's shown to be a reasonably intelligent character. It's like give him 5 years in 20 like starting in
That
2019,
that
and he'd
trope,
just be a guy.
honestly, that trope, like always makes me the way that it's portrayed always makes gives me a whole lot of secondhand embarrassment and anxiety. I hate it. I truly
A little
do.
bit on.
I truly do hate the like, the person out of time trope and the way that it tends to be handled. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
where
Some of
like
my secondhand embarrassment on that is on the behalf of the writers.
you're right, you're right. No, I'm not saying anything against George of the Jungle. I'm saying that we didn't need to do any more after George of the Jungle.
Yeah, no, George of the Jungle did what it did so well that we never needed to do
We
it
don't
again.
need to rehash that one.
We peaked.
Yeah, we did it. We don't have to go back and do it again. Brendan Fraser, come on, let's go.
True.
That's all you need.
This is my favorite holiday season copy pasta, by the way, which is if you start Die Hard at exactly 9:58:13 on New Year's Eve, you can see Hans Gruber fall off Nakatomi Plaza, which is better than any ball dropper NYE countdown. You're welcome.
hmm hmm
It's my favorite piece of holiday advice that I have seen for years. I giggle every time I
hmm
see it. I have yet to do it, but one of these years.
Exactly, Amethyst.
If it
If it
ain't
ain't,
broke.
if it ain't fixed, don't broke it. So, yeah, no. I'm trying to think of other. Freeman, do you have a favorite Christmas movies as
uh,
Anne asked song slash album?
uh, I have actually at this point to answer Anne's question about music. I have not actually found the music that I I get nostalgia from around this month
Yeah.
because I'm still recovering and and trying to shunt all of the very Christmas oriented and themed music that
Yeah.
blares on the radio
See, there's
ad nauseum.
I agree with that. There's two types of Christmas music that I like. Just like, there's the like I prefer secular Christmas songs as an atheist. I prefer secular Christmas songs. However, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman are not it. Like, can we all? I know we all won't will not agree about this, but like that, like the very like dollar store Christmas Christmas music, right? Like, I'm out. I'm sorry. Geek Outs, you can get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. I'll
Like,
stop now.
not
This is
even as a
ridiculous.
joke.
Yeah.
Not even as a joke, Geek Outs.
This is not a bit that we will entertain. We'll entertain a lot of bits here.
Here on Rule of Lore, we will entertain a lot of nonsense, but not Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
I can know. I already had a hard time listening to Michael Bublé, but every time this season comes around,
Yeah.
In terms of films, though, that one's a lot easier. For some reason, I think Nightmare Before Christmas is a really good one for me. I'm sure we all feel that, and
Very good. Also,
Edward Scissorhands as well. It's not even like I don't even think it's a holiday. I just think that the story takes place during a really snowy season.
interesting.
And maybe a holiday, but
I
feels like it. So
yeah, I also feel like I know that it's gotten to a point where like it was memed so much, it was very mainstream for a long time, and a lot of people got sick of it. But honestly, I actually think Elf is an excellent Christmas movie.
oh,
It
yeah,
is. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I actually watched it until well after it had come out. And
I always
when
forget Peter Dinklage is in it.
I know.
It always shocks me every time I see him.
But yeah, like I remember only seeing pieces of it like as a teenager, being like, eh. And then like when I finally sat down and watched it as an adult, I was like, no, this is kind of a good Christmas movie. Like, this is kind of what I want out of a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
The restroom door said, "Gentlemen, it must have been a gag."
Okay.
Hello, Ellie.
Here's the thing. About to say a thing that's probably a hot take, but I don't now, nor have I ever understood the obsession with "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey.
I don't. Yeah,
I do not now, nor have I ever. Like in college, around this time of year, just playing constantly. Everyone at the bars, at parties, in
Everywhere.
the dorms, like you pass somebody and they were blaring it into their ears through their headphones. I didn't get it then. I don't get it now, and I think that we as a society should move on.
I feel like it's some kind of like harvest or some kind of like grim like holiday like fairy energy harvest, like for each person who listens to Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You." Like it somehow like builds and sustains her life force throughout the rest of the year.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Mariah Carey,
And
Eldritch Horror.
that's oh my gosh. So many nostalgic things that are happening in my brain right now from what you just said. I remember when it was first released, my mom downloaded the song on dial-up and it was on all the time. I was 10, I believe. Yeah, no, like I remember now I'm remembering all the like remember Napster?
Oh my god. Oh my.
And just like
Okay,
that, the
all
holiday
right.
spirit has been crushed by the inevitable doom that awaits us all. That existential dread. Okay, I'm sorry.
Taxes.
Hmm?
That's what we're talking about, right?
Sure. Yeah. Listen, I did the Christmas Carol play 8 years in a row. So Muppet Christmas Carol is the only one I watched. You know what? That's true. Muppet Christmas Carol is an incredible Christmas movie. Love it. It's amazing. I always forget that Michael Caine plays Scrooge.
Oh yeah.
Always forget that.
Huh. I have to watch that again.
It's another one that just shocks me every time I see it, you know?
My dad always read the Polar Express to us before the movie came out.
The movie's good though. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we got into the tradition then of when Christmas Eve rolled around, we would read the Polar Express and watch the Polar Express. And so I remember watching that. I feel like that's a movie that got memeified at some point for like horrifying facial animation or something like that.
Yeah.
There's some kid's face or another that I see plastered all over the like screenshots of one of the kids' faces on there.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, this says, I'm not as into Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph, but I love Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Year Without a Santa Claus.
That's fair. That's fair. I can get behind that.
First through ninth grade, I was the last 8 years of the 32-year in a row run. That show was running longer than I have been alive
That is
consecutively.
a lot.
Same set and everything. It was musty.
Yikes. I mean, talk about getting the most out of your assets, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Holy.
It makes me uncomfortable when I think of the costumes. Like, listen, I've been in a green room. I know what's up. Like, it makes me some of those costumes make me super uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them I'm just like, I don't like this.
I stayed clear of the costume room. I stayed in front of a mirror and practiced putting an eyeliner on.
I never figured it out. See, I never figured it out because, like, so one of the things when people are, this is a fun fact about me, whenever anybody is asking, whenever we're doing like safety stuff for TTRPGs, I put on my lines, usually it's lines because like this mostly doesn't apply to like imaginary stuff like TTRPGs, but is like eye trauma, right? Like or like eye gore or eye trauma, and like why was I talking about this? What were we talking about? Eyeliner. So the reason is because I can't put anything near my, I just cannot do it. It does not matter. I cannot force myself. Like, eye drops are a struggle. I waste so much of the eye drops because it's just not getting in. And like eyeliner, any of that stuff, can't do it. I cannot do it. It's a huge struggle for me. So like anything to do with like eyes is just like a for me, for that reason. I just can't do it. That's like when we were doing Dungeons and Dorm Rooms, I had Fern for like our Halloween episode. I had Fern put like the mascara on me when I was doing like like I was being a bard, like the generic bard.
It was so hot.
And she like put thanks. She like was putting the mascara on, and I just like kept unconsciously like doing this as she was doing it. And she's like, "Okay, I cannot put it on if you keep doing that." I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I'll try." So yeah.
Like, yeah, I remember. I don't think I have it quite as bad as you, but I am still kind of like wary of things around my eyes. And so a friend was trying to do my makeup recently on stream, and I forgot that when you're having somebody else do your eyeliner, the trick is to like just rest your eyes and kind of look down, because otherwise what happens if you're trying to hold them like level to where you were looking a moment ago, they were trying to put it on, my eyes were just fucking spazzing out like my eyes.
If you're looking out, you see a thing come, foreign object coming for your eye, and then your eyes react accordingly.
Yeah, whereas if you just sit like this, then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Little Strummer. I'm the same way. I've always thought that if I ever actually like needed glasses, I would stick with the glasses. Like, there's absolutely no way I am putting like little pieces of plastic into my fucking eyeballs. Like, that's not happening.
No,
it's not happening.
Yeah.
I've heard my mom had contacts for a really long time, and I heard enough about her getting her contacts like stuck on the inside of her eyelid or something like that.
We're done with that conversation now. We're done.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Nope.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, contacts. No.
Absolutely not.
Plus, I've just gotten so used to having like glasses are a fundamental way that I envision my own face, and also they gave me big anime eyes.
Yeah, like I can't think of a better way to hide how fucking exhausted you are. Look at right now. Look, actually, you can't see it. That's good. You can't see it very well, so that's great. We're just gonna pretend I didn't say that. But like last night, for sure. Like when you watch the Goblin stream on Monday, if you look closely enough, you can see the underneath, because it was
mine there. Even with glasses, mine are pretty prominent, but like, yeah,
Nope.
I wear my glasses to hide how
I think my frames are thicker than yours though, so like
yeah,
that's
yours
I
probably
help a
what.
am.
little bit more
Yeah,
than that. The kind of wire frames don't disguise it super well.
yeah, yeah.
I am a wall now. I am just a wall of no
Freeman over
expression.
here
Just
looking like he's about to like leak a bunch of data onto the internet.
oh, if
Yeah.
only. Well, that didn't sound. That was sound. Santa Claus is about to leak a bunch of data on the internet. That's your present. A bunch of information. Oh, and it was not intentional the first time, but now it is. And now I'm dying. I'm like not even prepared for that. I was not prepared for any of that, y'all. Like,
Okay. Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right. No, hold on. I have. I'm just gonna.
I. Anyway, so um, Saint Cyber Nicholas.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Mhm. Yeah. No, this Santa's present this year is a huge wiki leak.
Oh my god. Anyway, that's a thing that just happened. Um, what were we talking about?
I think I think we were more or less were wrapping up the conversation about favorite like Christmas
Mm-hmm.
music and movies and stuff, and we got onto makeup because we were talking about shows,
Right,
and
right.
that kind of thing. So
Hmm.
that's kind of the ballpark that we were in at that at
Right.
when we veered off into Santa Claus professional hacker land.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm still thinking about like, so I know there's probably more. Oh, I know on the subject of treats, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is one that didn't occur to me right away because when I kind of just have it whenever excuse me, whenever I can make it, but I didn't realize that like, but I like forgot that it's most often a like holiday thing, but like rum cake. Rum
Oh,
cake is my favorite kind of cake.
I also forgot about a treat that we always make around holiday time, which is my dad would always save like Bailey's cheesecake
Ooh,
for around the holidays,
ooh.
which like
That's good.
subtly boozy, subtly chocolatey, like very creamy sweet
Mm-hmm.
New York style cheesecake. Mwah,
Wow.
so
Hmm.
good. I haven't made that in years. I should make that this year.
Wait, geek outs, you've never heard of rum cake?
Rum
It's it's very good.
cake,
It's
but with rum.
mm-hmm. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's cake but with rum. Like literally the cake is
It's printed on
yeah,
the tin.
yeah, it is that's what it is. So,
It's so good.
oh my gosh, Hermes, hello. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the bits. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for the 200 bits,
Hello,
Hermes.
hello.
Glad you're able to catch us here. It's chaotic. What an episode to catch. Although I feel like we say that about any episode that somebody comes in for the first time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, wow, what an episode to catch. This is your introduction?
Yeah. I feel
uh
any episode of Ramblemancy is, oh wow, man, you chose a wild episode to catch, which I think just implies that every episode of Ramblemancy is, ooh, wow, the episode of Ramblemancy to catch.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I think that's fair. But
A
welcome,
lot of
welcome on
people
in.
in a lot of people in chat who are hungry for Bailey's cheesecake.
I mean, that's
I'll
I
have
think a reasonable position to take.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's too. Littlest drummer, I we'll have to make it together sometime. I need to make it. I need to make it for this holiday season though.
Is it windy outside, Freeman?
Yes.
I actually can't tell.
I know. I keep hearing something, and it could be like a vehicle, like jets or something like that, or it could be wind, and I cannot tell.
I can't either.
Orange said it perfectly. This is a chill stream while also being pretty wild and random. That's correct. There's zero stakes, all chaos. Like that's basically where we're at.
Zero stakes, all chaos
Absolutely.
maybe is kind of our brand. Like,
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we've never made steak on the stream. Like, not one
Oh,
steak.
no.
Just you wait. That's gonna be a
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
It's
The
literally
Lore
just
cooking stream
it's
special.
literally just like nothing is happening except for Freeman just grilling a steak. That's it. Like there's no
Yeah.
conversation. There's no like just Freeman grilling a steak.
It'll be.
Yes.
I'll be grilling a steak. I'll have like a nice glass of some kind of like aged whiskey, and I'll just be standing, and I'll look at the camera every once in a while, and I'll just
like-
nod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
The stream title is just steak.
mm-hmm. Just
Be prepared for
like
ASMR.
yeah.
Just like
It's just all caps. The stream title is just all caps steak question mark, and that's it. Yeah.
And then once the steak is done being grilled, we change the question mark to a period.
Steak and vibes. That's good. I like that, Geekouts.
That is good.
Oh my gosh. Forgot to eat
Yep.
dinner and literally just made a noodle bowl. All right. Nice. Ooh, I
Ooh,
had
yum
one of those.
yum.
I had something like that earlier this week. It was delicious. I'm suddenly realizing that I ate a big lunch and I just tried to ride it through the rest of the day, and it's well,
It's
here
not-
we are.
Oh no.
I'm realizing that I've had, I think, toast to eat today.
Oh,
Listen,
I
we've all
I
been
have-
there, John, but we shouldn't have been.
yeah, that's
have these-
exactly right.
I had some crackers and cheese too.
Ah,
That's just like low effort toast, okay? Crackers
is
are
why I
just
had-
low effort toast. And you can fucking quote me on that.
I love that. Low
From now, I will
effort
be
toast.
describing crackers as a low effort toast.
Well, what kind of low effort toast do you have?
I've got just some kind of like nice buttery townhouse
Ooh,
crackers.
nice. I love those,
Yeah.
actually.
They're
Awesome.
I got these crackers in anticipation. I don't know why, but excessively buttery crackers are always like, I don't know, they're like a treat for me. So I got them
Yeah.
because holiday.
You know those like
Oh, yeah.
those club crackers?
Mm-hmm.
I like those and chicken noodle soup were like the thing that I had so often when I was a child, when I was like sick, that I can no longer eat club crackers because the association is there, with being
Fair.
sick. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, like there's certain sick foods.
Yeah.
I'm a
but what
snack
is
on
a
some
really
cheese
good-
and low effort toast.
What is a good sick food though? Like
Hmm. Honestly,
SpaghettiOs.
honestly, absolutely not. I, I hope you weren't serious because this will put another dent in our friendship, John.
Jesus
Absolutely
Christ.
not.
No, honestly, chicken noodle or chicken and rice soup
Yeah.
really never fails to make me feel better. Like, truly. I am always, every single time, I am skeptical, and then I eat it, and I immediately feel better in some way. Like, it soothes my throat, because it's usually my throat that's fucked up, and it, like, helps me with, like, all this stuff.
Yeah, well, like there's so many good things about some chicken noodle soup, between like the salt and electrolytes that you get back from it. Like there's some protein, like there's a little bit of protein in there, a lot of kind of like a good blend of a few vegetables and some
It's like
simple and
hydrates
complex
you, 'cause it's,
carbohydrates.
like- It's hydrating because, it's, like, mostly broth. And there's plenty of, like, that thought is just gone. This. It's just plenty of this. It's got a lot of this.
a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know
No,
what you mean, though.
I disagree with that point, John. Like, I understand that you're a Midwesterner, but like just because it has salt and pepper in it does not mean it's got this. Okay, like that. Like I know that you're
Wait,
a
no, that means
Midwesterner, and
it's- That means it's heavily seasoned, though, Lucas.
Oh my god. I am going to jump through the camera at you.
I want everyone to be clear. This is a bit. I spice and herb my food liberally. That does not mean that every casserole that I have ever had at a Midwest potluck had much more than salt and pepper if I was lucky.
Ooh, yeah.
And a lot of fucking mayonnaise. Holy shit, so much mayonnaise.
Ooh, you know what I love?
Yeah.
This is super unrelated to, and I think we're just generally talking about food now. But what
Mhm.
I love deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs. I can really put away some deviled eggs. It's not pretty. You should like. It's literally just me, goblin crouching in the corner with a platter of deviled eggs, just like, don't look at me.
But a good deviled egg is good, you know? So
Yeah.
I know. Same with me, Lucas. Same with me.
Mhm.
I'll bring my own platter.
Dude, it's
Be
a Ron
like, I'll
Swanson
keep
move.
the
Real
Oh
Ron
my god,
Swanson
that is a
move.
Ron Swanson. I forgot about that. It is.
Like,
Absolutely.
The true
Oh,
mark of the
gosh.
satanic panic overtaking your soul. Listen, if deviled eggs, if that's the price for some deviled eggs, sign me the fuck up, baby.
that's what happens when
Good.
Lucas maxes out his goblin stat.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly, Hermes. Exactly. Want a dozen eggs? Hell no. Want some deviled eggs? Yes. Exactly. Look, every once in a while, I will go on a streak where every morning I will like make myself eggs and toast and like whatever, right? But then it's over. At a certain point, I just stop doing that, and then that doesn't happen again until the mood takes me for like eggs. Deviled eggs, though, I'm always down. Literally always down. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, fucking dessert, midnight snack. I don't care. I will eat some deviled eggs. I will regret it in some of those instances, but
Brings me to another good point too,
Oh.
which is Pedialyte's not just for kids; it's for hangover. It's generally just good for hydration, though.
Mhm.
Gatorade used to be
Mhm.
a pretty good because Gatorade was originally intended as a like a
Electrolyte.
rehydration
Yeah.
supplement for
It's like an
Yeah.
electrolyte heavy sport drink, basically.
exactly. And then people started drinking it and it wasn't sweet enough, so they made a commercial version of Gatorade that is super fucking sweet
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it's mostly sugar now.
Yeah.
And that's the Gatorade that you get off the shelf. But something like Pedialyte or even G2, if you throw a little bit of extra salt into
Mhm.
it,
Yeah, for
makes for
sure.
a really good rehydration solution. If you're ever dehydrated because of because you're sick or because you're hungover or something like that, then like both of those things are extremely good for
Yeah.
getting hydrated again. This is tips coming from your resident person with a colostomy.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
because I struggle constantly with hydration, and so I know all of the hydration hacks.
Little Storm says, Lucas, we would get along very well. Good. Hell yeah. Game recognized game. Uh, yeah. I remember one time when I was in high school, there's a long period of, like, a sort of long downward spiral of, like, uh, Jesus. God damn it, Orange. uh,
I'm sorry, that one got me.
very good. Very good.
It's not even made from actual gators anymore.
There was a sort of long downward spiral of my health in my senior year from like October, actually from like November to January, where I had numerous like colds that involved like fevers and stuff like that, and several like 18 like of those like 18-hour stomach virus things, right? Several of those, and in one of them it was so bad that um I had to go to the emergency room, and I was extremely dehydrated, and the nurse there apparently had nothing better to do than to shove Gatorade into my hands and force me to drink it all
Jesus.
in front of her. Um, that was when I learned that Gatorade comes in cans. Did you know that Gatorade Lemon Lime comes in cans?
Me too. You would
It's
be surprised at what comes in cans.
Yeah, it's not great. It is first of all, one of the worst flavors of Gatorade. Secondly, uh, in the can, it has that like canned flavor. Anyway, I drank like four of those things while I was there. She made me drink four of them, and like I finished one, and she would be like I was drinking it, and she was like it was not fast enough for her, so I had to drink it faster. So, so I did. I had like, and I finished it. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm good. And then she just like, great, here you go. Hands me another one. I was like, and I just like drank that one, and like she kept like leaving the room and coming back in to check that I was drinking the Gatorade, and then finally, like after the fourth one, she like sent me in because like they needed to like they were this is a little TMI, but they were like gonna take a urine sample, and so they needed me like to like just drink a lot of this, and so then finally like I actually threw up again before that happened because I was pumping inundating my system. I don't even think that one had anything to do with like the virus. That was just the sheer amount of Gatorade that was going into my system that my body didn't like. Um, so like
I was gonna say they could have just given you some lactated ringers, man. Like,
yeah, the worst part is eventually I had to come back and did end up on an IV. So like it made the whole thing
yeah.
completely pointless. So
I mean, you threw up again, and throwing up
right?
badly dehydrates you.
So
Oh my God. Like the again, the my medical history is showing here, just me quietly judging this nurse for the way that she handled your
I mean, I think largely it was the need for like the sample that they needed to take, but
Yeah, I can tell.
yeah, the poll, man, this poll. Um, oh my gosh. Oh, I've actually had one of those little drummer like the glucose drink. Freeman, you remember in Thailand when I got sick? That was one of the things they gave me. It was the worst
Yeah.
fucking thing. Cause like it by itself isn't that bad, I guess, but like the fact that like in context of what I was experiencing was not good.
Yeah, no, crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The lemon lime flavor has ruined Sprite. Yeah. Okay, that's me with anything berry flavored. Like there was this one time when I got sick when I was a child, and like the only kind of tea that like my throat was really bad. And the only kind of tea we had was this like berry flavored herbal tea, and to this day I cannot have anything berry flavored because it just the association is there in my mind. I can't do it. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
so strong that if I have anything berry flavored, I almost start to get that sort of like placebo effect, right? Like where it actually like I actually almost like feel my throat getting sore if I taste anything berry flavored. Yeah, it's like a really strong like what's that word? That mean like psychosomatic kind of like thing reaction.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Like that with
Well,
grape flavor. Yep. I don't like grape flavored things either, geek outs. Not for the same reason. I just don't like them. But
Not
Um,
good.
what's the not alcohol, hydrogen peroxide. Smell of hydrogen peroxide will do that to me. There's no faster way to make me just instantly want to puke than the smell of hydrogen peroxide, which unfortunately a
Hmm.
lot of people use hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol as like kind of smelling salts sometimes.
mm-hmm.
So I have had to like over the course of my experience as a chronically ill person, I have learned that it's one of the things that folks will do sometimes, and so I have developed the awareness. Anytime I hear like here, smell this, and a tearing sound, I'm like, no, no, no. I'll push their arm away, like, no, 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 no. That's not going to do what you wanted to do. That
Oh.
ain't gonna help.
Oh no, geek. I'm so sorry that that ruined grape jelly for you.
Oh,
That sucks.
I learned to take pills by sneaking them into vanilla pudding.
You know, I used to like I could never there was a time when I couldn't take pills with like water because what would happen is I would just drink the water and the pills would like I couldn't get them to go down. I just couldn't do it. So finally I started just taking them dry. And that's how I learned to swallow pills, just taking them dry. It was not.
Do it.
It's yeah.
I do it the wildest. Like every single time I have taken pills in front of somebody, they have commented on this, but I always put water into my mouth first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll like a little bit of water, and then I'll put the pill in my tongue, and all of it.
That's bizarre.
Mm-hmm. It's real weird, but it's the only way it works for me. I cannot put the pill in my mouth and then the water because my brain will be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Chew that."
I think the first time I was able to successfully do it without like my dad gave me a piece of banana. He's like, "Here, chew on this," and I chew the banana. He's like, "But don't swallow." Okay, so I did that, and then he's like, "Okay, now here," and they gave me the pill, and I took it. And he's like, "Now swallow," and I did, and I was like, "Wow, it worked."
Magic.
Magic, yeah. um,
Hey, Hermes. Another. We are many.
there are dozens of us.
Dozens. There are dozens of water first, then bill people. You were the first person in my life, Hermes, that I have encountered that I share that with. So
I feel like I've seen someone else do it. I don't know. I don't remember who, but I feel like I've seen someone else do it.
there's got to be a sizable amount of people that do
Mhm.
it. There are, after all, only so many ways to take a pill.
Yeah.
Aren't there different ways too, depending on whether it's like a capsule or it's a solid too?
Yeah.
Like if it as well, like it floats differently in your mouth when you drink water, it floats the roof of your mouth versus it kind of sinks. So doing this versus just doing this is like less or not beneficial
Interesting.
because of the density of the
I had
pill.
literally never considered that, but huh.
I used to like I was not able to swallow like vitamin C capsules.
That was
basically
mine. Yeah.
what they did, not but others would like pull the powder out, and then like I would take it that way, just like on the tongue with water, and it's very vitamin C specifically.
Yeah. Eventually they gave up and just gave me gummies. But yeah.
And then they gave me like $100 bill and rolled it up really tight and made a line and said, "All right, go for it, kid.
Go nuts. Get healthy." Yeah.
Just kidding."
Hey man, you want to do a line of vitamin C? I hear it gets your really strong immune system.
Oh.
I hear it gets your immune system way up.
Well, that feels like something from the Dare program. I don't know. Like I was going through. I was when I was home for Thanksgiving. I was peeking in my closet in my room at my dad's house, and I found like a Darren, the little Dare lion in there. I was like, oh my god. Flashing back to this part of my life in 5th grade when that was a thing.
Man.
Orange, I just toss it in. I have my aim just right now, so I can trigger a swallow reaction by hitting the back of my throat just right with the tablets. That's incredible. Like, Orange, are you also the kind of person who can just take like a piece of popcorn or a piece of candy and just like, and then catch it in their mouth really easily or something? Because like anytime I try to toss food into my mouth, I fucking miss.
Well,
I'm coordinated in other aspects of my life, but not that one.
see, for me, it depends on if it's a hard candy or a soft candy. So it's really hard. Then I get anxious that I'm gonna fucking chip my tooth because I've hit my tooth before doing it with like an almond, or not an almond, some kind. I think it was probably like an M&M, like a chocolate covered peanut M&M. And they're like fairly large, and it hit me on the tooth, and it didn't do anything. It just reminded me, yes, if this were a harder candy object, I may have just chipped my tooth completely.
Yeah.
Lots of pill hacks in the chat right now. Also, Orange, that is so cool. Like you are the envy of both teenage and right now me. Because like just anybody who could do that, just like take a little like just boop, like I I really did try to learn how to do it, and I
You know what I learned actually? I learned I'm not good at doing that either at all. But what I did learn, I learned it with like with the pretzel M&Ms. Is when you like have your hand out and you put it like on your hand and then you just that.
Oh yeah.
I got really that's actually shockingly easy. I don't know why
oh
that's so much
yeah,
easier, but yeah, where you just sort of like, you know, into your mouth.
I would find a way to hit my nostril. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean like that definitely happened a non-zero number of times, but like as compared to my ratio of like just sort of throwing it up and like catching it,
Mm-hmm.
much easier.
yeah, I'm currently fiddling with my holiday spirit die from last night, and so I'm like, it's taking everything I have
Right.
to resist the urge to just go like,
I need to
and
put
Don't
then
do
this
it.
somewhere completely else because this is what I'm fidgeting with right now. I'm not even
Yeah.
doing anything with it. Like I'm not even like extending. I'm not extending the like the lead. I need to put this the fuck away. Okay.
hmm I'm just like, I just take it and then I roll it over one finger, and then the next finger, and the next finger, and then
Yep.
I've got a moonstone, polished moonstone,
Hell yeah.
and a Eisenhower dollar coin from 1971.
Prop check. Oh my god.
I don't have. That's not a real command, but like at this point,
I
I have.
intentionally
Now I
do
have
not keep
now I have
anything.
two Eisenhowers.
I intentionally don't keep anything within arm's reach of myself that I would fiddle with because, like, I understand how fidgets work. I do. I have ADHD. I understand how fidgets work, and that's a useful thing sometimes. But if you're not actually needing to focus on anything, they have the opposite effect, which is that they are really distracting. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember this life counter I got at Gen Con 2019.
Hell yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's just hanging out over here, just in
Yeah,
case I'm ever playing Magic the Gathering.
You know what I do have within arm's
Oh.
reach? I have this wonderful dice bag made by Danny Gage.
Ooh, yeah.
Uh,
I have. You all saw the bunny earlier. I also have the gift of fire.
the
Oh,
gift
nice.
See, look at this dice bag that Danny
That's
made.
beautiful.
I won it by accident. In that I won it in a contest that I did not know I was entering. So I thought I was just promoting a tweet or a stream, but it was one of those that was like and retweet this to follow, like and retweet to enter, and I thought I was just promoting their stream, but because I didn't actually read the tweet, and well, here we are. I now have this dice.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I don't know. Like as another social media manager, sometimes I'll just see somebody's promo image and
Yeah.
like a couple of capital words, and I just like retweet and move on. Like,
Exactly.
I'm like, oh yeah, no, they're promoting something cool.
It was
I'm
so
just
funny
gonna.
because it was. I think it was a Friends Who Roll Dice stream. Yeah, it was because then Drac messaged me. He was like, "Hey, so you won." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." He was like, "Yeah, so message Danny," and I was like, "Okay, cool. Hey, Danny, guess what? Guess who won your dice bag?"
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah. Um. Oh, Orange, go have the food. Have all the food. Well, don't have all the food. I think we've established how that's probably a bad thing. Have food.
Have
Think,
balance in all things.
I wish Orange a very food.
Enjoy your meal.
That's a good point, Hermes. I promoted a stream and won a dice bag, and I just now advertised the dice bag again. That's true. And Danny is actually in our Goblins game, which will be premiering on Monday. So, you know, I think I did. I pulled the dice bag out in there too because Danny was talking about it, and so yeah.
No spoilers. I haven't seen it
Oh my
yet.
god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that I pulled out the dice bag in a game in a TTRPG.
I know, right?
I really should have used. I don't think I used any of my metal dice during. That's what's in this bag. That's what's in my metal dice. I didn't use any of them during the stream, and I should have.
Wow, I'm really blurry this time. Sorry, my cryptid self is messing with the cameras again.
Yeah. What's the Mitch Hedberg bit where he's like, it's like, I think Bigfoot is blurry. It's like, it's
Well,
not the
now,
photographer's fault at all, which to me is even scarier because it means there's a large out of focus monster running around the countryside.
well, now you. I guess my identity has been.
Hermes, I'm so
Anyway.
jealous.
That's cool.
Got to see Mitch Hedberg live, a thing that no
Oh,
one will
that's
ever
awesome!
get to do again.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg is probably the first stand-up comedian that I ever really liked in college. Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My, hold on, my dice.
Ooh.
Ooh.
These are my metal ones. This is what I call my paladin set. And this is the set that I bought to play Sir Ronan Harcourt, the Eldritch Knight
Very
from Tomb of Annihilation.
very Matrix of you with those dye colorations, or at least the way that the color correction on your camera works.
Matrix? This one's blue
Oh,
and
is it?
gold, and this one's purple and copper,
Okay, I see
or
now. It's very
lavender and
clearly
copper.
like
I,
purple,
s- I
but
did see red at first as well, so I could see where you're going with that.
no, it
Okay,
was just,
I could
yeah,
see
in
it. Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
particular lighting, it looked almost scarlet. And
yeah,
it's just because of the lighting and the color correction on the camera.
yeah. Yep. And then I've got what I like to call my Star Trek Adventures dice because they never roll above a 10. So Star Trek Adventures dice. They're aluminum and excellent. I think these are Norse Foundry, I believe. These are from Norse Foundry.
Yeah, I've got a set of Norse Foundry dice chilling here on my desk too. Nice, some like cool black and copper ones.
I mean,
Oh,
speaking of
nice.
goblins, it's time to be the gobliniest goblin, which is Dice Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only metal dice that I have in here. Those two sets, and then those aluminum dice, and then I have this set that I got at. I think I got these at Emeralds. No, that's not true. I got these at Gen Con. They're
Yeah,
the copper with the lavender numbers. So they're kind of like the opposite of the other one.
I I don't even remember. I'm sure they had somewhere at ECCC. They had dice
Oh yeah,
somewhere,
they
but I
did.
didn't see them.
No, they did. That's where I got this set. That's why I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wasn't sure because like
Okay.
I knew that I got one of these sets in one place and one of these sets in the other one. But I know these were from Emerald City Comic Con because we were playing Tomb of Annihilation at that time. Because Henry got the
Right.
Sirocco mini.
That's right.
So
That's
yeah,
right. That's right.
little Aarakocra monk. Uh,
Continually rearranging the
oh,
little
test
frames up
roll.
here.
You want to see the Star Trek dice? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do a test roll here. All right.
Do I have to look
They
for my dice now?
Let's see. Here we go. Here's the green one. It's a 3. And then here's the blue one. It is a natural 20. So that would be bad in Star Trek Adventures.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty bad thing in STA.
Really
isn't
not
it?
great. I'm gonna roll it again though and see what happens. That one landed in between a 13 and a 1. So it did a 20 again. Hold on,
Its fate has
this
changed.
blue one doesn't know what it's. Nope, now it's a 7. Okay, never mind. All right, so yeah, yeah. Excite hands turn to panic hands. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that in Star Trek Adventures that would have been one success and one failure, and that would have been and a complication. So yeah, not great. Um, yep. I don't. My dice aren't that interesting. Like they're all like they're not very like I most of my resin dice are like just generic resin dice. Like very few of them are like interesting sets.
The coolest dice that I think that I have are my dispel dice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna change my camera's autofocus here a little bit. Change my camera's focus just a little bit so I can show these off at close range to the camera. Maybe. Hold on. Let's have. Come on a journey with me, chat. There we go.
Hey. Ooh.
There we are. Yeah. These are the. This is the D20. I love these.
Yeah.
The D6 is really pretty too.
So the Star Trek system is a lot of fun, but I still have trouble with the extended task. But that's just from watching, not actually playing it. Yeah, I get that. That makes I think same with me. The thing that made me understand it actually is when I realized that it is mechanically the same thing as combat. It works the exact same way as combat. That's the thing that made me able to understand. Do you remember that, Freeman, when we were trying to parse Star Trek Adventures?
Uh,
Remember when we were trying to parse Star Trek Adventures with the extended task, and then we realized, like, we
Oh,
had such a
yeah.
hard time wrapping our mind around the extended task, and then we realized it's exactly the same mechanics as combat. Yeah, it's just like different
yeah.
stuff is being used. There's different effects being used, but like it is effectively it is the same mechanics as the combat system, which
Mhm.
in fairness is also really like hard to understand sometimes. But but yeah, miss how the breakthroughs happen, but when you mention it's similar to combat, it makes more sense. Yeah. It's been so long since I played Star Trek Adventures that I couldn't honestly like I couldn't draw a decent comparison for you right now, but I remember seeing that and going, oh, that's really cool. It's exactly the same. It's just in a different context, and you're using different skills and different like yeah, you're using different disciplines and stuff like that. So yeah, it's and you're probably not using weapons. I mean, I suppose you could be using weapons in some extended tasks, but yeah. Combat is absolutely vicious in Star Trek. Phasers and disruptors are vicious. Yeah, you can get some, especially if you build a character that's spec'd for that kind of thing, you can get some pretty ridiculous numbers. Like, was it Henry Freeman that was? He was the captain, and he was not intended to be the captain. He was built as
True.
sort of like his job originally was like first mate and head of security,
Mm-hmm.
like chief of security. So he was like very combat oriented, and he went like he went into full like he got a fisticuffs with a Borg drone, and did some
What?
serious damage to that Borg drone. Just like yeah, it's yeah. Um, Batleth combat is where it's at. I honestly, I only have the core book. I would love to take a look at literally any of the other books. Like having the like Klingon stuff would be sick. I know that they have like that stuff, the Batleth and those stats in the core book too. But yeah. Anyway, we are getting down. We are within the last 10 minutes of our last live stream of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to show my
Oh
giant
yeah.
D20
That's right.
Oh, I love that.
because you never know when you might need to like also have a weapon on hand. So just
Yep. God, I remember Justin asking you not to roll it on his dining room table.
respectively. Like honestly, that's very fair. It's
Yeah.
there was a wooden table,
Mhm.
and this is like a pretty
Steel.
hefty steel D20 with many, as a D20 should be, many ends that are going to do damage on the
Yeah.
table. So I absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my
Man,
gosh.
you mentioned that it was our last like Ramblemancy of the year, and now I'm thinking about all of the things that we have done this year, and it's making me a little bit even sleepier. But like, also we've done a lot. We've done a lot. I'm thinking about how much like we've like learned and changed and grown over the year, and all the stuff, all the projects that we've worked on this year, and it's a cool thought. I'm excited to see what 2022 brings us.
Wait, it's 2022.
No,
Not
not yet.
yet.
It's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Reportedly, I'm pretty sure it's still. I'm pretty sure it's still September 2019. If we're being honest.
That sounds about
Right.
right. So we'll be
Yeah.
back with Dungeons and Dorm Rooms in the new year. No, I'm.
Oh my god. No.
And we're working on another top secret sci-fi superheroes project.
Listen, I honestly.
Although Dungeons and Dorm Rooms,
I
you
wouldn't-
speak of that.
I'm not above rebooting Dungeons and Dorm Rooms. I'm not against it. I just would.
They'll
I
have
just
the
don't know that
D
I'd want to.
dice.
That's true. I just don't know that I'd want to do it as like a long term thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a short run, maybe not with D&D.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also
Mhm.
a good point.
Yeah,
I probably
Absolutely.
that I think was sort of like one of the key issues with Dungeons and Dorm Rooms, that like it was a mistake to try to do what we were trying to do with D&D, which is why the tone of that whole thing completely shifted, but from the beginning of it to the end, to be a little bit more like traditional D&D.
Kids on Brims would be a fantastic, I think,
It's kinda what I was
choice
thinking.
Ooh.
for a
yeah.
Dungeons and Dorm Rooms like
Mhm.
like
That's
reboot
actually
or
so
short
much-
or whatever.
I was thinking like using Cipher system, but using the fantasy.
Cypher could be really cool too. Actually, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie. Like that also could be a very
Yeah,
good.
if you ran almost like a mystery game, and had it cipher, and then like you could even like, ooh yeah, you could do some fun stuff with like spells and ciphers,
Mhm.
you know, like that,
Yeah.
like in terms of like flavoring stuff.
True.
Mhm.
Ooh, I kind of want to do this now. Fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of,
Oh,
I'm kind
shit.
of, I'm kind of
Goddamn.
interested in both of these.
God damn it.
This happened. This happens way too often.
The last 5 minutes of Ramblemancy, we're like, hey, what if we, on the last Ramblemancy of the year, we're like, hey, what if we rebooted Dungeons and Dorm Rooms?
Oh, Hermes, I didn't realize he got through 2 interviews with Modifius for their community manager job, but could not land it. So close. Oh man. Well, I'm sorry that didn't work out, but I'm glad that you were able to go through the process, because that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's really
indeed.
cool.
Wow.
Cypher Fantasy is fun. I've never played Cypher Fantasy, not strictly fantasy anyway. Like I've played obviously Numenera, but that's more sci fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Numenera's
honestly,
so
depending on how you play it, it could be more sci-fi than fantasy. So
Yeah, sometimes in the same game, like
Hmm.
you can have one character who's just like fucking straight out of like the Shannara Chronicles, and then you can have another character who's like kind of from the Matrix, and like there's just
I was thinking like She-Ra almost more.
yeah.
yeah. Numenera
Yeah.
Numenera is a little bit grittier She-Ra.
That's
Yeah.
true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's okay, speaking of which, listen, if you, in case you were not aware, just in case you were not aware, those of you who want to play some like Numenera but don't want to get into the Cypher system, I will say that Monty Cook Games has fucking, what is it called? Arcana of the Ancients, which is a book that basically helps you translate Numenera into 5e. Like they have a lot of like Numenera stuff that they just like they have a whole system for how to translate ciphers into D&D.
Wow.
And like a whole thing. It's very cool. I was helping one of my friends recently plan a campaign, and he was telling me like all these things he wanted to do. Like he wanted it to be like a post-apocalyptic society, like fantasy but post-apocalyptic, right? Where like the fantasy, like your typical Fantasyland fantasy, but it is in the ruins of ancient civilization, of an ancient, more advanced civilization. I was like, hey, have you ever heard of Arcana of the Ancients? And he and I went, like, he picked it up, and then he and I went through it together, and it's very cool. I had actually not looked at it before. I knew of its existence, but I had not looked at it before then. But it's really fucking cool. So if you're more comfortable with like 5e but you still want to do some like Numenera stuff, listen, I'm always going to encourage people to branch out in terms of systems. However, like you can however, if you aren't comfortable doing that, and 5e is what you know, but you're interested in the like aesthetic of Numenera, Arcana of the Ancients by Monty Cook Games, it's very cool. This is not it's not like a. Sorry, I had like several thoughts that all collided at the same time. The other thing that I was going to say is, yes, thank you, Hermes. Always try new systems. Exactly. Like, you don't have to like anything other than like whatever game you are most comfortable in. But I can tell you from experience, you will only they can only do good things for you as a player or GM to try new systems. Like, and I mean that like truly playing Cypher for a really long time made me a better DM for D&D. And like it's highly recommend uh branching out, even if it's just for, even if it's not like you don't have to like fall in love with a new game or have like a new game be your main one, but try new stuff because it will probably teach you how to play your favorite game even better. So yeah, that's a thing I don't see people talking about too much. People are just like, try a new game, and like, you know is there a For Dummies book or a baby's first book for what specifically? Cuz for which system, or are you just talking about TTRPGs in general? Um because I'm the answer to some of that is I'm not sure for as far as TTRPGs and any. There's often you can often find like most systems I think have like a jump start or like a quick start thing that tells you everything that you need to know to like run the game. And that is how I learned Pathfinder, which is a Pathfinder 1E, which is a very complex system, very crunchy, but like I learned Pathfinder through like their jumpstart rules, which are often simplified versions of the rules. So like,
You can also find a lot of YouTube and podcast
yes,
content out there about how to play D and just straight up about how to play D&D. But if you're interested in playing like fifth edition, listening to an actual player too can also be very helpful because you kind of just passively absorb.
Yeah, hell, you don't even have to do
what
that.
they're
Like,
doing.
you don't even have to commit to like watching an actual play because there's plenty of people who do videos on like how to do stuff. But like,
Yeah.
but like for Cyberpunk, there is literally a video that I found of somebody that is just the whole video is just telling you how to read the book, not how to play the same, not how to play the game, but like how to find stuff in the book because it's very
Yeah.
weirdly organized. Honestly, it is
Mhm.
probably like that's probably the biggest like complaint that I have about the system is the book is organized so strangely. But
If you want to get if you want to just like baseline get into any tabletop role playing game that's pretty low commitment and also can cost you literally nothing or just a couple of bucks, games like Lasers and Feelings and Honey Heist and hacks and inspiration drawn on thereof are really fun, really simple, like low prep ways to get into it. Like Lasers and Feelings is a system by John Harper that's been hacked a million times. I've written a hack of it called Kobolds and Trenchcoats. We played a hack of Honey Heist by Grant Howitt for the Rule of Lore Gabo holiday special. Those games are literally 1 to 2 pages, and they can be picked up and run as one-shot adventures on a game night.
yeah.
Um,
Also,
so
Ellie, just to clarify, I was being a little bit facetious. Like the video that I'm talking. First of all, that's not typical. Secondly, the video that I was referring to was more about like telling you what was in each section in the book, rather than like actually telling you how to read the book. So it was more about like sort of like a cross section of the book, trying to like explain what each section was about. Um, which I did find a helpful like way of navigating the book, but that's not typical. Most most games I think are laid out logically, but oh, bye Amethyst. Happy holidays. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna be
Happy
probably
holidays,
closing up here
Amethyst.
in a second.
Take care.
Yeah.
Um,
We did that thing where we notice it's 10:20 and then we're like, oh yeah, well we done a few, and then and the next time we look at the clock it's 15 minutes
yeah.
later.
Honestly, we can spare it a little bit. I think on this one, it's our last stream of the year, and we can be a little lax about time.
Yeah, no, I'm not
As
saying
if
like, we gotta
no
end
no,
right now, but
as if we are ever hyper vigilant of time.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of pressing things to do after this, which is to say,
Constant
Yes,
vigilance.
I believe, Jesus Christ. I believe Anne is referring to Boy Problems, the Carly Rae Jepsen hack of Lasers and Feelings.
oh my God, that's right. And if you roll your number in the
What?
Carly Rae Jepsen hack, I believe it is called cutting to the feeling, um, which is so good.
Mhm.
Whoever wrote the Carly Rae Jepsen hack of lasers and
It's
feelings is a
incredible,
fucking genius.
isn't it like a
Never.
cyberpunk? It's sort of cyberpunk, and the whole
Uh-huh.
thing is like a hack where like you're like Carly Rae Jepsen released. This is a true thing apparently. That there's like an album that she uh made and did not release. Like it like got put away and like locked in a vault basically. And in this cyberpunk future, your goal is to steal it, is to get it from the vault and steal it. Um, I think, if I remember correctly, I read it once, but it was a long time ago.
I'm pretty sure that that is the premise of that one.
Yep, there we go. Stealing,
Cyberpunk High
stealing.
stealing.
Yep,
Sorry.
perfect. Yep, yep.
Another, if you have mall nostalgia,
hmm
nostalgia.
Nope, stop. It's not happening. Not gonna happen.
Ain't happening. God.
um, um,
Malja. Okay, I'll leave.
Do I have mine at hand? No, probably not. I mean, it's buried.
Mall Kids by Matthew Gravlin is also an excellent, very simple game. It's zine length. The rules are very simple. Art by our very own Caitlin Bruder.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like it can, depending on what degree you want to engage with TTRPGs, it can be like a pretty simple like one page read, or it can range to like a oh, hold on, let me hold up the Cyberpunk book. Oh, don't worry, I didn't break anything. Like this thing. I will be honest with you. There's maybe
Whoa.
like there's maybe like 80 or so pages in this book that are actually like maybe like I'll say like 150 pages of this like 500 and some odd page book that are actually like the rules of the game, and the rest of it is lore. So the rest of it is lore and a couple short stories, which is cool. But yeah, this is this is Cyberpunk Red, by the way.
No, like this much of the Cipher handbook is like NPCs and ciphers, and then the funny thing about the Cipher handbook is like literally like this much of it is rules,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest of it is just describing ways that you can
Yeah.
make your character.
I
Yeah.
have all these bookmarks in here. And John's book looks so.
You know what I just did? I just bought myself these tabs, and they're not the ones that I've been looking for.
So
Like
handy.
they're not the ones I've been looking for that are like hard plastic, but they are nice and like firm. And I'm very excited to use this because this is how I'm gonna get around my goddamn Cyberpunk book. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get some of those because this system right here is not working. There's not even like a.
That's what
There's not even like.
I tried that with my D&D books, and I had the same problem. Like they just fold, they bend, like it.
Yeah, exactly what's going on here. It's like I'm not sure which one is like for the
Yeah.
abilities versus skills versus whatever.
Hermes, thank you so much for the Prime sub. We
you so much.
appreciate it.
Woo!
One of my players printed
gets-
out my own game for me.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's right.
Kobolds and trench coats.
Oh,
in the
that's so
flesh.
cool.
You told me about this, but I didn't see it. That's amazing. Yeah.
That is awesome. Wow.
I get so lost. Yeah, like that's the thing about I think TTRPGs in general, not all, obviously like there are some that are easier than others, but like in general, I think TTRPGs could be better at making themselves making a little like lower cost for entry. You know what I mean? Like just like
True.
and Anne's right. It does depend on which game you're playing, but like in general, like me, I like a fair bit of crunch in my game. Like Cyberpunk, for instance, is a pretty crunchy game. It's not that complicated, but it is very crunchy in that there's like a lot of like little things to keep track of, little like numbers here and there, things to add together at times, like bonuses that are like numerical bonuses and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
like so it can get very crunchy, but it always feels like it serves to sort of keep things moving. Like it doesn't feel like bloat. It never feels like
Mhm.
bloat. I don't know, Freeman. You've played the system more than I have. I've just run it, but you've played it. So like, does that feel about right? Does that sound true?
Absolutely, 100%. I think.
Yeah. So like, there's some of the stuff that like I think it's fair to say that a lot of games could make themselves a little easier to learn and approach. Um,
Jay Dragon, the author of Wander Home, wrote, I think, a pretty interesting blog article about that a while back. That was pretty much about like making TTRPGs a little bit more accessible in terms of just their base like readability.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were talking basically about how like their parents or grandparents will read their games because like they want to support them, but also like this is still even then kind of arcane.
Mm-hmm.
There's a level of assumed knowledge I think that comes with a lot of TTRPG manuals that I think we as TTR like as tabletop game writers, creators, whatever, as hobbyists could I think do a better job at making the
Yeah.
barrier to entry for that lower.
Yeah, I like Anne's point about it depends on the person running. Someone who knows the system is better at helping guide new players. It's true, but there's also something to be said for everyone, including the GM, being having no idea how to play the game and learning together. Like that is there's also something that's how I think that's how we learned Pathfinder. Like that's how we learned
Mm-hmm.
Pathfinder is
Mm-hmm.
like nobody knew how to play it. And so we were just sort of like going through trying to parse the rules together. And like that's a little slower because then you tend what happened with us is that we for like the first several sessions we were not like role playing at all because we couldn't focus on that. We were so focused on just like the rules. But once you like start getting the hang of them, then you can start kind of branching out and doing the other stuff. But yeah, I think the thing that is often most overwhelming to new players with like the like more complex games is that they look at it, and actually I was literally just watching a Matt Colville video about where he said this, but it was in a different context. Where he was like, a new player will look at it and be like, I have to know all of this in order to play, and the answer is no. You need to know two things in order to play. You need to know the thing that is relevant in the moment, and you need to know how to tell which those things are. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else can be looked up, or somebody can explain it to you, can tell you what to do. But like,
A very specific kind of pattern recognition.
mm-hmm. Yeah, like it. That's why making a character feels really overwhelming because you're like, oh my god, I have to remember this and I have to remember this and I have to remember this. But the reality is, in practice, you only ever need to know the thing that is specifically relevant to whatever you're trying to do in the game, and that's it. And then like enough time of like focusing on one thing after the other, eventually it becomes easier as you play, as you proceed in the game, because you start knowing where to look for stuff. You start knowing like, oh, on this part of my sheet is where this information is, and on this part of my sheet is where this, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much like to the core of D&D, for example, is I roll a d20 to see what happens, and sometimes if that d20 goes well, I'll roll some other dice.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to do something in combat, I want to hit somebody with an axe or I want to fling a spell at somebody, then I look at this part of my character sheet. And if I want to make like climb something or talk to somebody or try and calm my horse or whatever, then I look
Mm-hmm.
at this part of my character sheet. And
Yeah, I just had the realization that literally every part of TTRPGs looks more complicated than it is. Like making a character, learning the rules, running the game, it always looks more complicated than it is. And that's I think the thing that is the most it presents tabletop RPGs as a hobby presents a very intimidating front. But if you actually like kind of get in and start looking at it, it's it's a little it's less complicated than it seems at
Mm-hmm.
jump. Like,
yeah, it the reason that character creation I think seems so intimidating is because you're presented with the entire system's worth of solutions to a nearly infinite number of problems. and all of the mechanical systems that they have devised for you to engage with them. When the reality is that you will only ever need to interact with those systems sometimes.
Yeah.
I've heard of them and always wanted to try, but no one either wanted to play or were interested in teaching a newbie.
That's a crime. I love new players.
New
Love
players are
new
a
players.
gift.
They're incredible because you all
So cool.
new players bring high quality. New players bring like come to the game free of like the assumptions inherent in those who've played for a long time. Bring brand new perspective, brand new thoughts and ideas to it, and it has never been anything but incredible whenever I've had a new player at a table. So anyone who says they don't want to teach newbies has no fucking idea how to teach the game and is just like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
new players are always a gift to me as a DM, and I know that I have an education background, but like,
I guess we had to have one.
yeah, we had to have one. It's the last Ramblemancy of the year. Um, you know, it I don't know, like seldom do I get shit as often as like a player going, "Can I hit this guy with a table?" And I'm like, "Shit, yeah. You want to try?" Like fuck around and find out. Or like have it come around to somebody's option and I'm like, okay, what would you like to do? And they're like, so I have this produce flame spell. And I'm like, yeah, great. And it says I can throw the fire. I was like, yeah, do you want to throw it at like, I was like, yeah, what do you want to do with it? And I was expecting to hear, I'm going to throw it at one of the pirates in the room. And what they said instead is, I want to set the table on fire. The table that they had just the previous round upended to give themselves some cover between them and the pirates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. New players are wonderful.
They're a gift.
Yep. Always.
I know, and like, even though I played TTRPGs for a while, I always try to be a new player every time, and it's really hard to do because when you've played for a while, you don't really remember what that was to be a new player. Part of it was like not really understanding the system. So what do? Do you go into a game and just not understand the system fully? Do you pretend not to get it? Do you not read anything? Do you partially read something? Do you just go in blind? Like
Cultivate a sense of wonder.
or do you just like make it up? Or do you just like, yeah, exactly, cultivate it yourself?
Yeah, I think it's like I think what you're trying to the distinction that you're trying to get at here, Freeman, is the distinction between like a like maintaining the ignorance of like a new like of a person who has never played before, or and the sense of wonder and like lack of assumption, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like just
But well, also knowing what you're doing so you don't bog down the game with
Mhm.
a bunch of experts.
Right. And I think any good group, and I hate to put it in these terms because like I think there are probably perfectly fine groups who probably aren't great at this kind of thing. Every group is going to have its, its problems, but like I think you know any like good healthy group is going to find a way to like not to well, I'm once again having multiple thoughts collide in my brain. It's gonna find a way to like bring the new player along, right? Like especially if you're playing with a group of
True.
like of veteran players, right? It's not going to be that because they all know what they're doing. It's actually not going to. And it sort of counterintuitively like you not knowing what you're doing is actually the opposite of a problem.
Yeah.
Because like you've got a bunch of people around you who like no, and that looking at them as a resource rather than looking at yourself as a like as an anchor on their fun, I think is the better approach. Looking at the
Mm-hmm.
people at the table with you as a resource, because at the end of the day, TTRPGs are collaborative in more than just like the storytelling aspect of it and the like objective and finding and the objectives in game. They're also collaborative in the sense that you are a collective pool of knowledge of that
Mm-hmm.
game.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely
I
not.
cannot tell you.
TT
Listen, I'm gonna let you in on. I'm gonna let you all in on a little secret. We're gonna peel the curtain back here, if you will, which I understand is a thing that that I think some GMs would like do get to pearl clutching for me doing. But I will be honest with you, I do not really know how to run Cyberpunk Red. I don't, because like I don't know how that game works. I mean, I know the basic mechanics of it, the very basic mechanics of it, but I know nothing else. I relied entirely on the players knowing their stuff. And I just kind of had to go with it. I was like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah. Um, so that's me letting you in on a little secret. I do not know how to run Cyberpunk. I know how to
And
run
yet,
TTRPGs.
though,
I know how to run TTRPGs as a like in a general sense, but the specific system, Cyberpunk Red, I don't know how to run it. I just know
which
the basic mechanics, which is very simple. It's generally every roll is roll a d10 plus like two other numbers, uh, and that's pretty much how you resolve everything. I just like whenever a player told me they wanted to do something or use an ability or do whatever, I'd be like, all right, and so how does that work? It's a collective pool of knowledge at the table, and that's the important thing. Yeah, everyone at the table is equally a resource, and a repository of knowledge and instruction manual, and so yeah, um, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Um, and what I'll say, Ellie, you know what? If you really want to get into TTRPGs, as it turns out, Rule of Lore has an incredible community of people who are really into TTRPGs with a bunch of very kind individuals who are always like wanting to run games and happy to like answer questions or even run you through some stuff. So, like, if you really want to get into something, the Discord, hit up the Discord. Like, there's a whole channel dedicated in there just for this specific thing, and I guarantee you, if even if it's not one of us, somebody in the community will be happy to answer your questions. So, like,
yeah.
yeah,
If you want to play, if you want to know where to start, like the TTRPG channel is a good place to go in our
yeah.
Discord.
So, like, if you really do wanna like learn this stuff, you have a whole Discord full of the collective repository of
so
knowledge.
much,
Mm-hmm.
so much, so
And like
good.
there's nothing that TTRPG nerds like more than to talk about TTRPGs. Like there's nothing we love more.
Yeah, yeah,
So
And new players too, for sure.
yeah. Okay, I think that's as good a note as any to go out on. A little longer today, but that's, you know what? So was Thunder and Blood. But we're not gonna talk about that anyway.
And and
Oh my god.
I was gonna say something else, but I lost track of the joke I was gonna make. It was gonna be a dun 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 dun, and then
Mm. Yeah.
mm. I don't know what that meant.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. In our final live streamed content of the year. Um, it's I won't say it's necessarily been a good year because it's been a lot of different things for a lot of different people. It's sort of been all over the map. Um, but it has been, at least in our little corner here, I think it has been very good, and I am very grateful for that all the time. So thank you all for that, because that is just as much your doing as it is ours. So um, thank you so much, everybody, for at least as far as Rule of Lore is concerned, an incredible year. And we will see you in the new one. Just some quick reminders that the Goblins one shot, The Gift of Goblins, will be airing on this channel on Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be here. A few of us will be here in the chat hanging out, watching along with all of you. So join us. Come hang out. It is chaotic. It's truly unhinged beginning to end. So like
Oh yeah,
you're gonna want to see. um,
it's so good.
um,
I'm really excited to see it.
yeah. Um, thank you, Geek Outs, and of course, thank you to all of our mods. Just y'all are incredible. And we
Hmm.
don't say it enough. That much is true. Even if we said it more often than we say it now, we still wouldn't say it enough. So that wouldn't be enough. But thank you all. We will return in the new year. So, and also we'll be around the Discord. Like we'll be there. We'll be in there. It's not like we're disappearing. Um,
Yeah, of course. Like you'll be able to find us there, and among the chorus of good mornings and good zones every day. That I described the way that I start my day to one of my roommates the other day, which is I wake up and the first thing that I do is I check a couple of the servers that I frequent, and I read everybody's well wishes, and then I wish everybody a good morning, and then I get up and I go about my day, and it's a very it's I love this little tradition that our community has in the Discord, and it makes such a positive start to every single one of my days.
mm-hmm, for sure. So yeah, we have a bunch of new and exciting stuff coming in the new year. Keep an eye out for announcements about that stuff. There's a bunch of really exciting stuff coming a lot sooner than you might think. So really, like, you're gonna want to keep an eye out. I'm very excited about what this new year will bring for us. So once again, thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you hopefully on Monday for the Gift of Goblins. But if not, we will see you the next time you decide to come roll with us in the new year. Good night and good zone, everybody.